Hello, nerds watching all over the internet. It is Thursday night, March 27th, and we're here for another exciting live edition of Wrestle Rewind. That's right, folks. Another Thursday night to talk about all the great things happening in the world of pro wrestling. We're talking matches, segments, title changes, returning legends, incredible pay-per-view events, and more. I'm your host, Jose Casabona. I'm also the host, the founder, executive producer, and content manager of the Ravens Flock. And on behalf of all of us, we appreciate all of you tuning in tonight. And joining behind the camera is the host of the Black Files, my tech partner for Wrestle Wrewind, a man who puts in the hours playing all the videos on his channel every single week. A wanted man in his own right, Mr. Juan Arouse.
I'm forbidden from entering 5 different states that I've never even visited. Guess which ones? I think you'd be delightfully surprised. Thank you for that fine introduction, Jose. Don't you ever forget them, mister.
That's right. And much like all our other shows, folks, we are simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. So hit the subscribe or the follow button on the bottom right corner of your screen. Click the bell icon to enable notifications. Leave your questions and comments below. We'll answer as many as we can. And if you wish to go above and beyond to support the Ravens Flock, then you can become an inner flocker. And for $4.99 a month, you'll have access to all the perks that comes with our membership. Juan, tell them.
Well, for all the inner flockers we've got in our chat, and I know we have plenty, go ahead and show off those lovely membership badges and custom emojis, letting everybody know that you are here to help rescue the Ravens Flock from the clutches of late-stage capitalism to become full-time streamers. Since 2013, we've been working hard, staying strong, making your voice our mission. The only thing standing in our way now is the fact that we have to work 9 to 5 jobs just to keep the lights on. Case in point. Imagine what would happen if I were to, let's say, not go work tomorrow. Guess what would happen then, Jose?
What would happen?
This.
I don't know. What do you mean? What? No! We need the lighting, Watcher! You can't do that!
Nope, that's what happens. We literally can't do that because we need money to keep the lights on because we have bills to pay.
Oh my god, well put it back on! You made your point!
Have I made my point?
Yes, you made your point.
Would you guys like to watch us rambling in the dark? Like animals? No!
Seriously, plug it in.
You're properly lit. Okay, that wasn't me. There we go.
Yeah, please don't do that again.
No, I'll do it all the time. I don't give a fuck. But, you know, it's actually more important how you can keep us from doing that and keep this from happening permanently is doing what you've been doing with us this whole time, which is supporting the Ravens Flock by liking our content, by commenting both during the stream and after the stream on the replay, sharing this to all your socials, and subscribing to us, most importantly, and hitting the notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all our alerts. And so all you got to do is continue doing this and support us this way, and let everyone in your life know about the Ravens Flock and what we've been doing to help spread and celebrate the words of the world of geek culture, nerd culture, pop culture, and everything in between. The more subscribers we can get out of that, the more inner flockers come out of that as well. So with your help, we can and will succeed. You'll also get access to members first and members only content, a special discount to our merch store, link in the description below, and you get access to all of us, the Ravens Flock, your favorite motley crew of nerds, here to make your voice our mission by providing us your thoughts, your input, your feedback, and your ideas to better shape the future of this channel to suit your tastes and needs. Hey, up in the chat, we got Nikki Bella, Vicente Guerrero, and Mr. Quaker all here. Hey, up, folks, friends and follies and lickamollies, we want you to enjoy yourselves tonight. But pray tell, Jose, what is it exactly that we do here on Wrestle Rewind?
Okay, first of all, thank you for that Fifth Element line.
Yeah, you heard what I said.
Number 2, here on Wrestle Rewind, we review 3 of the most exciting pro wrestling programs in North America today. That is WWE's NXT, AEW Dynamite, and TNA Impact. We're still on the road to WrestleMania. It's less than a month away, folks. And on that road, we have AEW Dynasty coming up on April 6th over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
That's, a week away?
That's right. We also have TNA's pay-per-view event called TNA Unbreakable, which is happening on Friday, April 18th, over in Las Vegas, Nevada, as part of WrestleMania weekend.
Wait, seriously?
That's right.
Holy shit.
TNA Unbreakable is making its comeback with the first and only TNA Unbreakable, I think, was in either 2006 or 2007. But the point is, it's coming back, bitches. And of course, we have NXT Stand and Deliver, which is happening on Saturday, April 19th at 1 p.m. over in Vegas. And of course, there's WrestleMania, 2-night event happening on April 19th at 420, y'all.
Yay, 420 blazing.
Yes.
It's not as if we don't celebrate here at all anyway. No, but that's not the point.
Yeah, I know. But now here's the thing, Juancho. I actually want to talk about Las Vegas because you've been to Vegas and you've been to Vegas once
for a couple of days, and I kept myself on the strip because I was scared to.
All right. But hear me out. You've seen how the people in Vegas behave. They go to these awesome mammoth events. They also go gambling, and when they play, they really play. They play hard and they play all night long, and that takes up a lot of energy to just go out there, spend your money, hedge your bets, and see how much and see if you could take the house. Juan, how can we match the energy of Sin City?
Well, first off, we need to get drunk. Secondly, we would need to be obscenely rich so that disposable income can finally be a part of our lexicon of commonplace nomenclature. You don't know what the fuck I said.
Those are some very big words. Watch your word, not to quick one.
We can meet that energy with our partners over at Glitch Energy.
No,
it's not that one. I'm pointing at the Holly's Jolly Jolt.
But we're in March!
Because I'm drinking that, alright? I had this in my cup all day. I was topping it off as I was drinking it. I even threw in some, fruit punch Kool-Aid in order to mix it up. But you don't need to do that if you want this stuff straight from the tap, because Glitch Energy is, who, by the way, is a partner of the Ravens flock, can keep you running strong all day long with 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 lag, and 0 crash. And you want to make sure that whatever you do, you go to glitchenergy.com, go in there and subscribe to them, to their little newsletter. Get yourself logged in. That way you can stay up to date with their content, with their products, and make sure that you have their page bookmarked, because you never know when a new product will drop.
That's right. So far, the newest product that they have right now is called the Level Up Lemonade, which is a pink lemonade flavor, and the name itself is inspired by the Level Up Arena.
Yep, which is a premiere. For those of you who don't know, folks, the Level Up Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. If I read that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a premier gamers event venue.
For gamers!
Angel would be in La La Land there because it's so gamery. All the gaming. And imagine how sweet and sour he could be if Angel got his hands on some of this delicious Level Up lemonade. Because not only would Angel have the time of his life, spending it with his true love, video games, and an amorphous sense of belonging, but most importantly, he'll be enjoying an ice-cold beverage at the same time in the form of this Glitch Energy. Is that right, Jose?
That's right. And if you go onto glitchenergy.com and use our promo code FLOCKFUEL, you will receive a 20% discount on your order. So don't delay. Go to glitchenergy.com, level up with their Level Up Lemonade, use our promo code, and get your energy now.
We want to thank Glitch Energy once again for partnering with the Ravens flock.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started as we continue on the road to WrestleMania. First, and yes, I also want to go ahead and say hi to all the folks on the chat right now, Mr. Quake, Vicente Guerrero, and if I'm not mistaken, Nikki Bella. Yes.
Mr. Quake is going off of your 420 days greater than Austin 316 day.
I strongly disagree with you, sir.
That could be very well debated. I love Vegas. We're here to here to play. We here to win. Yep. TNA Unbreakable and Undeniable come together. AKA Tessa Blanchard should be on the card. She probably will be.
She will be.
I mean, you got to fill up your racist quota somehow.
But that's something we're going to get to a little bit later. So, Juan, without further ado, ring that bell.
Don't mind if I do.
All right, so we're going to start things off with this week's edition of WWE NXT. And in this edition of NXT, a certain double champ is going to be working double time in this show.
The champ.
That's right, La Primera, the champ. The NXT Women's Champion and Women's North American Champion Stephanie Vaquer will be competing in 2 title matches separately. She's going to be defending the title in the opening match and one in the main event. So let's talk about the opening match right now. And this match is for the NXT Women's title as Stephanie Vaquer defends the championship against Jada Parker.
Oh, shit.
That's right. Jada Parker made her presence known last week, blindsiding and assaulting Jordan Grace and putting herself in the front of the line to challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's Championship.
Right. If I remember seeing correctly, last week, there was a whole smorgasbord of ladies who were all jumping down the NXT general manager Ava's throat. All of them wanting to call their shot to become the next challenger for either the NXT Women's North American or the NXT Women's Championship.
You are absolutely correct, Juancho. And speaking of other women, we will get to in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and talk about the match. So, Jada Parker versus Stephanie Vaquer, the experienced veteran versus the NXT up and comer who's getting a lot of traction in WWE. And yes, folks, we do have pictures courtesy of WWE.com. Yes,
it was all gone. Fuck.
As you can see right now, Jada Parker, despite her inexperience levels against the champ, she is of course applying the pressure and keeping the Dark Angel grounded in the middle of the ring. The fans, of course, are 100% behind La Primera, chanting over Jada Parker.
Now, let's not kid ourselves over here. Jada Parker is no slouch. All right. Granted, she hasn't had a major win since the last time she tried to contend for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Remind me, wasn't Jada Parker the inaugural NXT North American Women's Champion?
No, that was Kalani Jordan.
Kalani Jordan. I am so sorry. I had a feeling that I was going to be wrong. But
No, it's okay. Her last big rivalry was against Lola Vice, which led to NXT Underground.
The NXT Underground match. Okay, now I remember. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Kalani. It's not you. It's me. La Primera, she's got it going on.
Yes, she
Please
does.
Don't hate me.
All right.
What's his face? Mr. Craig saying he saw WWE Evolve on Tubi. It's fun. From OTM. Yep.
NXT UK Rebellion, just spreading ideas. Okay, yeah. Well, unfortunately, NXT UK is dead. Sadly.
This ain't though.
Because Jada Parker continues the pressure, applying the backstabber onto Stephanie Vaquer.
Excuse me, I have a copyright on that maneuver. It's called the trademark, baby. It's called the Code Breaker, baby.
That's a knee to the face.
It's called the Code Breaker. I invented this thing.
That's a knee to the face, not a knee to the back.
I invented it, baby.
No, Carlito invented the backstabber.
I invented it, baby.
Bitch, you ain't invented shit.
I invented it, baby.
So Jada Parker continues the pressure and continues to target the midsection of Stephanie Vaquer.
She's trying to work the core out of Stephanie in order to keep her from being able to use her full body awareness in the ring. You know, it's tough to be able to have ring presence awareness and, spatial proximity awareness in order to be able to come up with a good counterattack if your fucking body's on fire.
That is correct, Juancho. But Stephanie Vaquer will not go down without a fight as she leaps over into the air and hits an incredible springboard crossbody, knocking down Jada Parker and beginning her comeback in the middle of the match.
One thing, though.
What's up?
Okay. So, I just need to zoom in on this.
Okay.
It's very important. All right. Now, do you see the face of Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT Women's Champ?
Yes.
All right. You getting a good look at that?
I am.
Okay, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to point it out because she's pretty.
You're an idiot, bro.
Yes, I am!
Oh, my God. You wasted all that.
Yes, I did!
Usually you have something to critique.
Yes, usually I do. This time I'm just like, she's so pretty. I just don't have a crush.
All right. Well, continuing her momentum, Stephanie Vaquer continues to apply the pressure on Jada Parker, pulling a page out of Rey Mysterio and hitting an incredible Tiger Feint kick.
You mean the 619?
Dial it up, 619. But unfortunately, Jada Parker was able to shoot it down, and she was able to get Stephanie Vaquer planted in a corner and drop her down with her ass. And then, in the final moments of the match...
Am I looking at that right? What's her face? Jada Parker, she's got the half shorts, the half tights on?
Yes, she does. Now, in the final moments of the match, of course, Jada Parker got distracted by the juggernaut Jordan Grace, who was taunting her from the ring apron.
Hold on. What the fuck kind of taunt is she doing?
I genuinely have no idea.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this is meant to be. What is it like? Oh, hey, the match is over there.
I think so. Neener, yeah.
What the fuck?
It's so weird.
I'm just being childish. I don't fucking know. Point is, like I would have to see the video to get a little better context of how she was distracting Jada Parker in there.
Whoa, you just flipped it. That's actually cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's an accident, but yes, I could do that.
Okay, well, anyway, so getting back to it. So after that little distraction, Jada Parker tries to focus up. She's got Stephanie Vaquer right in her sights. She runs against the ropes, and she tries to go for the hypnotic. However, Stephanie Vaquer, the veteran that she is, was able to roll her up to pin and retain. Your winner, and still the NXT Women's Champion, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. Juan, your well, actually, before I get to your thoughts, unfortunately, Stephanie Vaquer could not celebrate for too long because out comes well, first of all, Jada Parker and Jordynne Grace get into a little bit of pull apart at ringside with referees and officials trying to break up the ladies.
What? Oh, what? Are you scared? You're gonna let these four goons stand between us?
Stop it, Juan. They're not goons. They're WWE officials.
Oh, my bad. 5 goons.
You ass.
I missed the one behind Jada Parker's butt.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not going to comment on that. And while that's going on, unfortunately, Stephanie Vaquer has got a little bit of, has got blindsided as well by none other than the Fatal Influence.
Oh, god damn it. All 3 of these gorgeous fucking evil women's.
Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix all laid out a 3-on-1 assault, softening her up for Fallon Henley's upcoming main event match for the NXT Women's North American Championship.
God dang it, can't have anything nice over here.
Now that I got that out the way.
Let me take a look in the chat.
Let's go to the chat, and then we'll get to you.
See. Here's Bouncy, she's on 619, good homage. Cranage Dove, Vice Froze, and Vegas as faction. Shades of Karate Kid, Fatal Influence are goons. God dang it, Mr. Quick.
Speaking of Karate Kid, I'm close to the end of Cobra Kai Season 6, and I just want to give a shout-out to Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I saw her cameos in the show, and she was freaking awesome.
Cool.
Now, that being said, Juan, your thoughts on the opening match?
I hadn't finished, because also, what's his face? Vicente Guerrero was saying, sounds like Stephanie Vaquer, with 2 high-profile matches in one night. SV lived out her Bret Hart impression from WrestleMania 10. Steph is one of the few women who can still make Bride of Frankenstein hair look hot.
That is true.
For real. No, like in any case, the match sounds like it was a good time. Jada Parker's gonna need to ice her bruises over here and figure out what to do regarding the juggernaut, the muscle mommy supreme, that is thick mama pump Jordynne Grace. And meanwhile, oh shit, we got this going on. So yeah, no, excellent match, and I'm glad to see that we've got ourselves started on a high note. So
absolutely. Now let's get over to the exciting match of the night. Well, sort of exciting because the main event was exciting. But anyways, this is a one-on-one match for the NXT Heritage Cup as the defending champion Lexis King puts his cup on a line against the young OG, the bouncy boy, Javon Evans.
All right, so bouncy boy is going up against Lexis King, the Heritage Cup winner, and he's not yelling at the camera anymore. He's not reaching at the camera trying to eat my face.
I know, right? So this all started from a backstage segment where Javon got into an argument with Trick Williams. How Javon made the arguments saying that the NXT Championship has changed Trick Williams, and that Trick Williams is not the same, not necessarily for the better. And Trick Williams fired back at Javon Evans saying, like, you don't understand. Because you're not you're not a champion, and once you're a champion, you will understand. And to erase the whole thing that they're friends, that they're not friends, because Trick Williams is turning heel, and Javon Evans is trying to prove that he can win the big one and win a title on NXT.
All right, well, let's see if he can live up to that.
Now, of course, the rules of this Heritage Cup match under Lexis King is a 1-round sudden death rules.
Basically regular matches because
that son of a bitch don't want to follow tradition.
sounds to me like the No Quarter Cash crew need to bring back some of the sacred rules of professional wrestling. Gunter is throwing microphones in his grave right now. Wait a minute, Gunter's not dead, is he?
No, of course not.
Okay, never mind. Well, metaphorically.
His name Walter is.
Yeah, Walter is.
That being said, speaking of those following outside of tradition, Javon Evans is an exploding powder keg. He leaps over the air and hits an incredible top rope dive, laying out the Heritage Cup champion. But when we got back from commercial break, unfortunately, Lexis King was able to regain control of this championship match.
Though, if you take into consideration that Lexis King has just a little bit more in-ring experience than Javon does, it makes more sense over here. Truth be told, I'm not expecting a lot out of Javon, not because he isn't talented, but just because Lexis King is a little bit more wily when it comes to his in-ring movements. So let's see if he can pull one.
That is right. Also, Mr. Craig, I don't think that's something you want to say.
No, we know this. We know that Brian Pillman Sr. is dead. We've been known this. It's okay. Water's wet.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and continue on. And yes, these former AEW wrestlers are going at it as Javon Evans continues his explosive action, hitting an incredible frog splash from the top rope, but only got a 2 count. The fat battle continues as Brian Pillman Jr. will not go down without a fight. And then, in the final moments of the match, with the referee distracted, out comes the NXT champion, the ruler, the conqueror, the bringer of war, the mountain you cannot climb, the great Obafemi, lays out a devastating powerbomb onto the edge of the ring apron on Javon Evans and rolls his carcass back into the ring.
Why? Wait, hold on. I think I missed something. Is Obafemi just picking on anyone now?
No, Obafemi is feuding with Trick Williams and Javon Evans.
No.
Remember, those three took part in a Pier 6 brawl last week after NXT Underground.
Oh, man, I forgot. Ew.
It's okay. It's okay. And then and then that allows Lexis King, unfortunately, to hit the coronation to pin and retain. Your winner, and still the NXT Heritage Cup champion, Lexis King.
Well, not to be the guy who's gonna, pick on a man when he's down, but that's Lexis King. He picked on the man while he's down. He took advantage of an opportunity.
Hello, Wrestle Lulz. How you doing? Welcome to Wrestle Rewind. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like on our channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our content and tell your friends about this channel.
Mr. Quake was asking, Dark Order or Dark State?
Dark State.
No. Which one's better? Or which one's worse?
Which one's worse? You know what? Let's put up a poll right now, Juan. Which of the 3 faction names is the worst? Is it Dark State, the Dark Order, or the Culling? Juan's going to go ahead and put that together. I'm going to go ahead and continue talking. So, overall, this was a really solid match. And yes, I actually did some deep search. I actually did a deep dive on both competitors. And while we all know that Lexis King used to wrestle for AEW under his real name, Javon Evans also wrestled for AEW, specifically for AEW Dark, before signing up with the WWE.
Well, he's in a better place now.
Yes, he is. Now, unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse for Javon Evans.
Real quick, Russell Lulz was saying Ben Chilling tonight got to watch JCW Lunacy tonight.
Hey, nice. Cool. All right.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Things took a turn for... Yep, the flashy lights happened. And that's usually the calling card for Dark State, but Dark State never entered the ring. Instead, they allowed Obafemi and Javon Evans to just brawl amongst each other and watch them create chaos. And then in this chaos, out comes Trick Williams, and Trick Williams accidentally, or maybe purposefully, attacked and knocked out Javon Evans.
Zut alors! The betrayal! The audacity! The nerve! How could he? It could have totally been an accident.
And what if it wasn't? And this led to another pull apart where they have referees and WWE officials getting into the ring and keeping both men separate from each other. And Dark State, they didn't have to do anything. All they had to do was just create the whole illusion
Dark State didn't even fucking show up, did they?
No, they did. They were just standing over by the bleachers, and they were just laughing at the chaos because, like, yeah, we got them rattled, we got them paranoid, we got them thinking we're gonna jump it, but we ain't gonna jump them yet.
God damn it! A fucking fake out? The nerve!
It's mind games, Juan. It's psychological warfare.
No, that ain't no psychological warfare. There ain't nothing logical in that psychological. That's just psycho warfare.
Ain't nothing logical in that name of Dark State.
You're not wrong.
All right, let's go ahead and continue. By the end of this program, we'll go ahead and review the poll results. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get to the exciting segment of the night as NXT commentator Vic Joseph had a sit-down interview with the absolute Ricky Starks.
Ricky.
Oh, Ricky Saints. Sorry, old habits.
You can still hit the pose.
Ricky Saints.
There you go. See?
Sorry, guys. Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
So, Ricky Saints went on to talk about, addressed how there was a lot of folks in NXT right in locker room right now who have it out for him. And despite all that, he maintains his cool, but more importantly, he maintains his confidence. He talked about his early years of pro wrestling, how he was just living inside his car, and how he was trying to go through the toughness and the grind of the professional wrestling business.
He's not afraid of the grind, bruv.
No, he's not, and he's taught early. Thank you.
Fuck you, Will Ospreay.
And Ricky Saints learned a long time ago that confidence is key to have in the pro wrestling business, and he's never shied away from that. But before the interview can continue on, Vic Joseph was told to take a hike from a certain perfectionist who likes the number 10. That would be the NXT North American champion himself, the leader of the culling, Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears and Ricky Saints have a lot of history, without mentioning their history in All Elite Wrestling, of course.
Well, why would you? Why would you mention that?
Yeah, I know.
They have history, just not anywhere that matters.
Yeah, they mentioned how they knew each other for many years in the pro wrestling business, and how Ricky Saints has pretty much rubbed everybody off the wrong way, and what's his face, and Ricky Saints actually fires back and challenges Shawn Spears for a championship match for the NXT North American title, and Shawn Spears then fired back saying, like, all right, let me give you some word of advice. You should if this doesn't work out, you should go back to, no, wait, you've burned all the bridges you've had. Yeah, speaking of taking the shots at AEW.
Gotta love it. In the chat, what's his face? Wrestle Laws is saying, turns out Ricky Morton and Willie Mack were on JCW Lunacy tonight, along with Two Tough Tony.
Oh my god, Ricky Morton, how the hell are you still wrestling, dude?
How are you still alive?
How is he able to do a Canadian Destroyer at his age? That's crazy.
Seriously, Ricky Morton, what the fuck?
Yeah, go ahead and look up Ricky Morton. Let's see how old this guy is.
I don't need to look him up. I know how old he is. It was part of the Rock and Roll Express.
Holy shit, he's 68 and he's still wrestling.
Uh-huh. Makes perfect sense to me.
Bro, you've got enough money, dude.
Let me ask you something, and do be honest with me.
Okay.
Do you think Ricky Morton could survive on Medicare? Or rather, on Social Security?
Shit, you're right.
He's 68 years old. Yeah, no, he needs actual money from actual work. All right. He's not retiring.
All right, fine.
Society.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the match of the night, and I'll explain why. There's only one good thing about this match, and we'll get into a discussion on it. This is a one-on-one match, as All Ego Ethan Page goes one-on-one against Andre Chase.
What happened with oh my god, Andre Chase.
Andre Chase is still feeling like crap, and he's got two dudes, Cale Dixon and another guy, I forgot his name, who are trying to hype him up and get him back into the Chase U spirit. They're trying desperately to hype him up. Ethan Page, and this is all in a backstage locker room segment. Ethan Page then craps on their parade because Ethan Page is Ethan Page, and Andre Chase challenged him to a match to teach him a little bit of a lesson in respect and humility. And during this match, we got a special guest on commentary, Juan.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a former FTW champ himself, Absolute Ricky Saints.
What? So we're having double Ricky Saint action here?
Yeah.
But isn't it a little weird that he's on both the best segment of the night and the worst match of the night?
Well, that's why I said, that's why I said there is a good part to this low point match of the night. That's Ricky Saints because, okay, couple reasons. Number one, during the commentary, Vic Joseph apologized to Ricky Saints for Sean Spears interrupting, and then Ricky Saints made a very, very strong comment there saying, well, add him to the list of Canadian wrestlers who have it out for me.
For no reason.
For no reason. Once again, taking another shot at AEW.
You want to know what's funny about all this shit? You want to know what's actually funny about all this shit?
What is it?
Unless you know about All Elite Wrestling, if you're a filthy casual, you got no clue about the references. None. Nothing, Nathan, nada. You don't know what the fuck Sean Spears is saying about, like, oh, you burned all your bridges, go back to nowhere, and fucking, what do you call it? And, what's his face? Ricky Saints making this reference about Canadians not liking him. So what, does Ethan Page have beef with Ricky Saints? Yes, right?
That's right. Well, kind of, sort of. He's trying to form an alliance with Ricky Saints, but continue.
Okay, no, I was gonna say because he didn't even like his didn't like Ricky Saints, and he's Canadian also, so that could have been a reference to that, maybe. I don't know, but the point is these jabs at AEW, they're under the radar enough that if you don't know, you would never notice.
Unless you listen to a podcast.
No, or you watch AEW religiously. Like, no, I mean, to the exclusion of everything. Like a cultist. Anyway. Ethan Page, Andre Chase, match.
Yep, we got photos of the match, courtesy of WWE.com.
Yay.
So let's go ahead and share those photos. So, yeah, this match was all right. Ethan Page, of course, is putting the punishment onto Andre Chase, while the two disciples of Andre Chase are ringside, trying to cheer him on, trying to bring back that Chase U spirit. And it almost worked. Yes, because Chase U did mount a comeback. He did hit it. Andre Chase did mount a comeback.
Oh no.
But it was only...
No, you're going to hate me.
Why?
You want to hate me?
Why?
You want to hate me?
Tell me why.
This is why.
Oh no. Please tell me you're not. Oh my...
It's not this is the Tom Green Show. It's not the
fuck you!
Show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. It's the Tom Green Show.
Speaking of Canadians, I don't have anything negative to say about Tom Green. He's just
there. No, all I was saying is he looks like Tom Green.
He does. But unfortunately, Andre Chase's fiery comeback did not live long. Ethan Page was able. Andre Chase's comeback did not last long because Ethan Page was able to sweep the rug from under his feet and hit an avalanche power slam from the second rope before knocking him down completely with the twist of fate to pin and win. Your winner, all ego, Ethan Page.
Shit.
And then after the match, Ricky Saints went over to ringside to try and talk with Ethan Page, but then Sean Spears blindsided Ricky from the side.
Really good.
And then out comes the rest of the Culling. God, it's such an awful fucking name.
Here we go.
What the fuck?
Why?
The rest of the Culling show up, and
why is Ethan Page still hanging around back there, though?
I don't know, man. He's just... Because he's trying to feel sympathy for Ricky Saints. Because he wants Ricky Saints to join him because they're both outsiders of WWE.
Yeah, former AEW guys. That's not even the point. Why are you hanging back there? If you've got a vested interest in having Ricky Saints join you, then you would jump down there and try to fight for your prospective ally or whatever. But then again, Ricky Saints committed one cardinal sin that I don't think I'll be able to forgive anytime soon.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Wearing loafers with no socks.
Oh my god, we're back to this bullshit.
I hate that fucking fashion trend. I hate it. It's so weird. The socks are there to keep your feet from smelling. Why wouldn't you want smelly feet? Are you a smelly foot Frenchman? Is that what it is? Is this a European thing?
I mean, he is from New Orleans.
No, yeah, this New Orleans, but not French. All right, it's just like saying that you're from like you're from you're from Albany, but you're not really a New Yorker. Right?
Careful, Juan. You might have some of those New York staters come after you.
I welcome it. What, you think just because I'm living down here in the Sunshine State and what's it called? The Big Guava? Or is it the Big Orange over here? What's the name?
The Big Guava.
It was the Big Guava, right?
Yeah, it's a Big Guava.
That doesn't mean I still don't know how to throw down like I was back in Elmhurst. Alright? So if you need to fucking throw down with me, go ahead and find me.
Alright. Chill, Juancho, please.
Okay, so what was the problem with this match?
Okay, here's my problem. Number one, Ethan Page has got to move on from shitty undercard storylines, and we got to give him something else to do. And number two,
sorry, go on.
And number two, it just anytime I watch Andre Chase now without Chase U, I just keep getting sadder and sadder and sadder.
So do I.
And I'm just like, guys, you got to do something with both these guys. Like, you got to do something with Andre Chase. You got to do something with Ethan Page. For goodness sake.
Like, it was Ridge Holland that killed Chase U.
Yes. And unfortunately, Andre Chase Ridge Holland ended his feud with Andre Chase with Ridge Holland winning. So that leaves Andre Chase with nothing.
Yeah, because now Chase U is gone. We got no more Genki Girl time with Thea Hale. We have no big Chase U students in the background.
Yeah. And honestly, this just feels like a pit stop for Ethan Page. I'm ready for Ethan Page to move on to a more compelling storyline in NXT. And speaking of storylines, and motherfuckers, you better not break them up! We're going to talk about this. So
the worst segment?
This is a very weird segment, and the only thing worse about it is that, like, they're teasing a breakup, and they better not fucking do it. Yes, it is featuring the D'Angelo family. We got Tony D'Angelo, the Don of NXT. He doesn't have the title no more, and he's bothered by these goons, these new groups that are trying to take his spot, and a gabagooli, and you know the rest.
Poopy? Boppity poopy? Beepity poopity pop? Boppity poopy? Beepity pop! God damn it.
All right, so Tony D'Angelo called this family meeting in their restaurant, wherever the fuck it is, and he is talking about Dark State, how Dark State attacked him. He wants to know all about Dark State, where they are, what they do. He wants to know everything about them.
He wants those Dark State kids dead. He wants their families dead. He wants their houses burned to the ground.
Pretty much.
Gabagooli.
Thank you for that South Park line. Yeah. But then afterwards, he asks everybody to leave, except for the underboss, Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
Why?
Because he has to have a one-on-one talk with him. Because lately, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, for the past couple of weeks...
Just call him Stacks.
Stacks, for the past couple of weeks, has been taking matters into his own hands without consulting the Don of NXT and running the business. And these two talked about it, and Tony D'Angelo talked about some sort of childhood memory that they had about them watching each other's backs. And
wait, what?
Yeah, no,
these guys were childhood friends?
I guess so. And Tony D'Angelo then finishes off saying, like, and I can trust you. I can trust you, right, Stacks? And then Stacks walks right behind Tony D with his hand over his shoulder saying, I always got your back, T. And tell me this shot doesn't look like they're trying to split him up.
Fuck!
Do not break up the D'Angelo family, you fucks!
At least not anytime soon, please.
That's why I don't like it, because they're teasing a breakup one. Don't do it!
How dare they? No. Let me see here. The Rock did that. We need a showy. I blame The Rock. Florida is awesome. Ethan Page is shown to be main event picture. Yeah, he is, easily. You yo-yo when it comes to being in the card here. Andre Chase and Ridge Holland killed Chase U. No, just Ridge Holland because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he killed Big E's career. Thea and Carly will make a new Spirit Squad. Triple H loves breaking up factions. Stacks will turn the Dawn Father. The Carfino is running Evolve. I bet Colby Covington is Kurt Angle 2.0. The Dawn Father. Stacks will turn on Tony D. Colby with the other guys in Casafino.
Oh yeah, speaking of the D'Angelo family, shout out to Luca Crucifino for putting on a really good match last week on WWE Evolve. The fans love Luca Crucifino. Holy shit!
In Evolve, yeah, without a problem, and it definitely shows.
Now, before we get to the main event, we do have an honorable mention, Juancho, from the NXT Women's Division.
Yay?
Yay, indeed. And the honorable mention goes to this amazing tag team match featuring the Chemical X team of Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley versus the Meta Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson.
All right, they've been okay. The Meta Girls have been on a roll in certain terms of tag matches as of late. So I need to know what the fuck.
Not only have they been on a roll in tag matches on WWE programming, Juan, but both the Meta Girls and Chemical X have made their presence known in TNA.
You're right. Oh, what's her face? Chemical X, Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. They were on TNA last week, and I still need to smack you because you didn't bring it up last week. How dare you?
Okay.
All right. And wait, when were the Meta Girls on TNA?
The same week.
Really? In a different match?
No. They were in the same segment, Meta Girls, Chemical X, and Ash and Heather by Elegance during the championship celebrations. And both these NXT teams are trying to vie for the TNA Knockouts tag team titles. But this deserves an honorable mention because, oh my god, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley put on an amazing tag team match showing incredible, unbelievable tag team chemistry with each other. And I pulled out 2 pictures from this match. This super collaborative tag team move where they combined the Gigi driver and that awesome move that Tatum Paxley does. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I see the move over here. Why does Jakara Jackson look like she got cloned off of Gigi Dolan?
It's just the hair, bro. It's got to be the hair.
But like the lighting makes their skin tones look the same. Also,
I don't know what to tell you. And then, of course, afterwards, like they celebrate the match, and of course, Chemical X won the tag match, which is awesome. And they gave us this awesome shot, which I'm not gonna forget anytime soon. Yay!
All we need is Shotzi back over here, and you've got it.
Okay, but where would you put Shotzi? Is she a top or is she a bottom?
She was a top. She was behind Gigi.
Oh, okay, so she's a top.
Remember?
Oh yeah. I always figured Tatum was a bottom. I'm gonna stop.
You're looking to catch hands from people who aren't me. You're not trying to catch these hands. You know I'll go easy on you.
I know. I'm being, bro. I know that. Oh my god, I'm being ridiculous.
No, you're not being ridiculous. You're being me, but not intelligently. You got to be careful.
Oh,
shit can be because you if you run too loosey goosey, you might end up getting hurt by people.
That is true.
In the chat, real quick before we go on, I mean Kurt Angle with Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak. Oh my god, that is
yeah, the Angle administration from 2004.
I remember that. That was wild. Everybody hates Ora Mesa more than Jar Jar Binks, maybe. I ain't surprised. I remember 2 years ago, Stacks turned on Tony D. Andre Chase placed bets on Chase U. Vicente Guerrero agreed. And Vicente said breaking up teams and factions was and is a big problem with WWE Creative. Even when the team/group gets over non-creative, still fucks them up. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. At some point, like, the tag teams usually build to the point when their individual members have built up enough individual personalities among the fans in order to be proper single stars on their own.
Yes.
So it kind of makes sense. And
I also want to offer a counterpoint because it also depends on certain circumstances. Let me bring up an example. So coming fresh out of The Shield, 2014. They came fresh out of a huge WrestleMania 30 victory against Kane and the New Age Outlaws. They defeated Evolution on 2 separate pay-per-views on Extreme Rules and Payback following WrestleMania. They're big baby faces. They're getting a huge push. However, because Batista left WWE to return to Hollywood to film more Guardians of the Galaxy, and
after the Blue Tista-ness.
Yes, and Bryan Danielson was sidelined for the rest of the year due to injuries. They had to split the team up because they need new contenders to fill in these gaps with Batista and Daniel Bryan out of the picture.
Okay, that makes sense. It wasn't liked, but it makes sense.
And yeah, I know. Especially when they were gaining so much momentum and when they were as baby faces, like they had to do it, but circumstances forced WWE's hand.
You're right.
Now, let's go ahead and get to the main event. Speaking of a champ pulling double duty, Stephanie Vaquer is back once again, defending the NXT Women's North American Championship against the Fatal Influence's own Fallon Henley.
Okay, one small problem.
And what's that?
Is it just me, or does Fallon Henley's headshot here make her look cross-eyed?
I don't know, man. I think it's just you. I mean, she looks very villainous. I love it.
I mean, yeah, of course she looks villainous, and they're all being in black and white and everything is cool. And of course she looks dangerous and threatening and all. But the way she's got her one eye, her left eye, the one that we see on the right, that one's slightly squinted, which makes the entire profile of her face make it look like she's looking at us slightly cross-eyed.
Maybe? I don't know, man. Well, again, I think it's just a you thing.
Yeah, well, I am crazy, so.
That being said, so yes, after the opening match on NXT, the Fatal Influence jumped Stephanie Vaquer, and they softened her up, targeting the midsection, weakening her for the main event match. So it would be easy pickings for Fallon Henley to recapture the Women's North American Championship.
All right, let's see how this starts going. Oh, fuck!
Oh yeah, and she did not waste any time after when the match began. Fallon Henley laid in the offense against the champ, once again targeting the midsection and keeping the pressure going throughout the entire match. 80% of the match was belonged to Fallon Henley. She really dominated against La Primera. With a little bit of help from Fatal Influence at ringside, of course.
Doy.
It's a doy indeed.
All right, so of course we've got this madness over here going through, and of course we see Fallon Henley taking advantage of it all. Not just working over Stephanie Vaquer's gut, but also the sternum and the chest area here with his kicks.
Exactly, and Stephanie Vaquer did try to mount some offense, but anytime she tries to she gets a chance to fight back, Fallon Henley is able to just it's just like suck the air out of the room and continue the assault on the champ. Triple H hates charismatic people. That's
not really.
Not really?
I mean, you need charisma in order to
hate
people's attention and get people to go in on you.
Yep. And she's also fighting dirty as both women take the action to ringside, and Fallon Henley slams Stephanie Vaquer's head face first onto the announce desk.
Yeah, Stephanie is not having a good night.
Also, I do want to point out, I forgot to mention it on the opening match, but you know that move that she does, the Booker T,
the freaking
head,
the knees, like cradling the head, stomp into the.
Yeah, the head stomp to the mat. She did it to Jada. She did it to Jada Parker, and she did it to Fallon Henley. And the WWE audience watching from the CW network were treated to Booker T going yeah.
I'm honestly surprised the CW network didn't for that, because that sounds slightly obscene for broadcast television.
PG, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Booker, you gotta keep it PG, pal.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, shit.
However, despite the best efforts from Fallon Henley, Stephanie Vaquer was able to fight back, and she was able to overcome the odds and hit her finishing move, the SVD, to pick up the win. Your winner, and still the NXT Women's North American Champion, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer.
All right. Okay, so we confirmed that she's the real deal Holyfield here, and she is not going to take any challenge lying down. She's a fighting champ, and she will continue to persevere. Hopefully, this just means that NXT ended on a positive note for the champ tonight. Who am I kidding?
Nope, because rinse and repeat. After the opening match, the Fatal Influence ran in and attacked Stephanie Vaquer again with another 3-on-1 assault. But this time, the champ was saved by the Juggernaut, bitch.
Seriously?
That's right. Jordynne Grace came down and fought back against the Fatal Influence alongside Stephanie Vaquer. She grabs the belt, hands it over to Stephanie Vaquer, and then there's this moment where she was gonna give the women's title over to Stephanie Vaquer, but then she grips onto it, hinting that she wants a shot.
Yeah, I might not want to give it up. Yeah.
And then Jordynne Grace was attacked from behind by Jada Parker because these bitches be beefing, and Stephanie Vaquer and Jordynne Grace were able to fight off Jada Parker, and the whole show ends with Stephanie Vaquer holding both titles over her head, and the camera cuts to black. Fuck yeah!
God damn, cinematic.
Very cinematic indeed. I'm not going to go online and use the line that they're producing cinema because I think that's been done to death now.
Yeah, afraid so.
Yeah, seriously, can they fucking make that die?
Yeah, no, it can come off a little overplayed, a little overexposed, a little overdramatic. Yeah, you don't want to overuse a line like that.
Of course.
Oh my god, why is this not... There we go.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely.
Because I'm trying to find the one thing you sent me last night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that in just a bit. So yeah, no. And overall, yeah, I'm gonna get to my final thoughts on NXT. But again, fun main event, and yeah, no, Stephanie Vaquer showing that she ain't nothing to fuck with because she is the champ, and she's got the chops to prove it.
God damn. All right.
All right, now before we get into AEW Dynamite, let's see here. Stephanie Vaquer with that champ nickname might owe Deonna Purrazzo copyright money.
She's not calling herself the champ. We are.
No, we are. But speaking of which, I actually do want to, and me and Juan, we went back and forth about this. I actually need to indict WWE because they did omit a piece of history because Mandy Rose was a champ in NXT. She was the NXT Women's Champion and the NXT Women's UK Champion when she captured it both at Worlds Collide.
Maybe. No, Jose, here's the thing. She's not the NXT double champion.
Oh yeah, because they retired the NXT UK brand, so yeah, it's unified.
Whereas NXT UK had its own women's championship belt over there, that was treated as separate from NXT, if you recall.
Yeah.
So in actuality, since Stephanie Vaquer is both NXT Women's North American Champion and NXT Women's Champion, that makes her being a champ for NXT legit.
All right.
So,
all right.
Take that.
Whatever. All right, now let's go and shift gears into this week's edition of AEW Dynamite.
Light the fuse, hit the boom, Dynamite!
This week's Dynamite takes place over in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they're running a special theme. Actually, I don't think I sent you a picture, didn't I? No, keep scrolling down. I don't have it numbered because, right there. They're running a special theme for AEW Dynamite because they are promoting an upcoming movie of...
Not just any upcoming movie. They're promoting a Minecraft movie, Jose.
That's right, a Minecraft movie which is coming to theaters when?
April 4th.
April 4th, yeah.
Yeah, no, we you already heard my tirade about the shamelessness of the promotions that Tony Khan is happily, willingly doing for these guys.
Yep, from Minecraft to Legend of to House of the Dragon to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and to Queen of the Ring.
Suicide Squad killed a lot more than that.
Yeah, but then again, WWE is not exempt for this because they have sponsorships all over their ring, all over the arena.
And they also do sponsored matches. So, yeah, I guess.
More sponsorships means more ad breaks, Juan.
And everyone knows that that's the only metric that matters, not actually putting on compelling entertainment that gets your audience wanting to know more about the stories and the programming that you put on for them. No.
We just want to know when LA Knight's going to be in the next Slim Jim commercial.
got to make sure that you sell as much as possible.
Or when Bianca Belair is going to be in the next C4 energy drink commercial. But anyways, so let's get to the opening match of AEW Dynamite, because the opening match is a one-on-one contest featuring the AEW International Champion, the Best Bout Machine.
Wait a minute. Was that the one? No, I think you I think it mislabeled. No, you didn't. My bad. You're right. You did.
The Best Bout Machine, Kenny Omega, goes one-on-one in a non-title match against Blake Christian. And he's a wrestler who was wrestling in Ring of Honor.
Who?
And AEW Dark.
Who?
Exactly. This was not really much of a match. This was more of a tune-up, more of an enhancement match for Kenny Omega. Blake Christian did get a little bit of offense in, and he also threw up the deuce in front of Kenny Omega, which I just did right now. Sorry, not sorry. And then Kenny Omega put down Blake Christian with quickness, hitting 2 Snapdragon suplexes, the V-trigger, the one-winged angel. Good night, Irene. Go back to Ring of Honor, you stupid, dumb fuck. And actually, yeah, you know what? Let's look at the. Do we want to end the poll? Let's end the poll. All right. So before I continue on with this, let's go ahead and review the poll results here, because I want to see what it is. So 50% voted the Dark Order, 25% voted Dark State, and 25% voted the Culling.
So out of which faction name is the worst? Yeah.
Which faction name is the worst for you, Juan? Dark Order, Dark State, or the Culling?
Dark State.
Dark State, yeah. I think the Culling is bad. But anyways, getting back to it. So Kenny Omega then grabs the microphone, and then he cuts.
Kenny took a sneeze and won a match somehow.
Kenny took a sneeze, won a match. He then cuts a promo hyping up his upcoming triple threat match at AEW Dynasty, where he defends the International Championship against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. And speaking of which, we get Speedball Mike Bailey joining the proceedings and talking with Kenny Omega. Speedball.
Yay.
And boy, did AEW not waste any time in making merch for this guy.
Because they don't waste time making merch for anybody.
Yeah, I know.
That's because they waste time making merch for everybody in the dumbest ways.
Even for lower card people, like for shit that doesn't even matter.
Like what's her face? Aubrey fucking Edwards, the referee.
Or just a plain white shirt that belongs to the Death Riders. I could just easily get a plain white shirt from Walmart if I want to.
Exactly. Fucking hell. All right. So
anyway, so Mike Bailey gets on the mic. He talks to Kenny Omega, and he talked about how Kenny Omega was one of the wrestling heroes that he admired growing up and watching on in the independent scene, and how he entered AEW because one of his dream matches is to face off his idol Kenny Omega. And
hey, good for him, I guess. Oh.
Yeah, hey, like I said, get it how you live, man. Get that money.
Hey.
And then as these two continued their promo, they were both interrupted via Titantron from a certain former WWE United States champion who may or may not have had their Don't
you also mean the former WWE Speed champion?
Well, that too. Who may or may not have tied their nuptials recently. It's Ricochet.
Yay, good for him. What the fuck?
Ricochet cut a promo saying that he couldn't be there, that he was busy doing other stuff, getting married, and that he can't wait to face off against Mike Bailey and Kenny Omega, and that the international title looks a lot better on him. Classic heel promo. It looks silly, and it's all pre-recorded.
Yeah. So congratulations to the new Mr. And Mrs. Samantha Irvin.
Congratulations.
It took you all that long to figure out.
Oh, you ass. Why'd you do that?
Because fuck him. Vicente in the chat. Minecraft game I did not ever play, but the movie should be better than the fucking awful Snow White remake. I've not seen that either. It is hated by most who did. Yeah, no, it's like I mentioned it last night. Fucking people hate the movie because of Rachel Zegler. Because they're being racist and shit and stupid.
They also hate it because of Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot because of her being Israeli and fucking the whole thing with the war in Gaza. Other people hate it because the movie looks stupid.
Yeah.
But like, in all seriousness, I was like, there are people hating it all over the place.
All right, so getting back to it, and Yeah, no, and then Kenny Omega was able to bring the promo segment back to him and Mike Bailey, and then of course he closed off saying his usual good night and goodbye and good night adieu stuff.
Adieu is I say goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang. He says that.
Thank you.
You have to remember the things.
All right.
I'm not even that big on Kenny Oblivious over here, but even I know how to memorize a gimmick.
Fair enough. So Juan, what do you think? You excited for this triple threat match between Kenny Omega, Mike Bailey, and Ricochet? We've seen what they can do.
Yes, I am, but I'm also at the same time I just don't want everyone to try to work on getting shit in. Actually, work on getting a match in. That would be the actual challenge. Level impossible, especially for Ricochet. I know. It's just that at this point, I think it's par for the course with AEW wrestling. They love jumping the shark when it comes to their matches. No, not jumping the shark, because they're fucking. Fucking Tony Khan shotguns everything against the wall and fucking hopes that some of his shit sticks. I'm simply saying I want the match to have fucking storytelling happening in it, and I want the match to feel like a proper pro wrestling match, not just a spot match, spot fest with a shitload of monkeys. Oh yeah, like that's move after move after move, no selling, exactly. That shit. Yeah, it's come on, I know you guys can do that, but you'll look way better doing this instead. Okay. Now let's get over to the exciting match of the night. And this is something that me and Juan are likely going to have a disagreement about. And it is a one-on-one match featuring Brody King, representing the Hounds of Hell, versus the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, representing the Don Callis family, with Don Callis on commentary. Why didn't we get their stupid Minecraft logos all over it? I couldn't find it. Can you find it? Oh, God dang it. Okay, well anyway, so Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher. This was an extremely competitive match. More competitive than I was expecting. I know that these matches tend to go past one commercial break, but this one actually went the distance. This match went past 2 commercial breaks, with both Brody King and Kyle Fletcher, of course, putting each other to the limit. They were taking their fight in the ring, and then the fight spilled over at ringside. And with Brody King doing his running attack while Kyle Fletcher was sitting at the corner of the barricade. And then they were able to bring the action back into the ring. Kyle Fletcher, of course, is trying to work over Brody King. And Juan saw this with me, and you were a little surprised too, right? Okay, I was surprised for a completely different reason here. I'm surprised by how how they're setting up this match where it's as if Brody King and Kyle Fletcher weren't on completely opposite ends of the size and frame spectrum of guys. Kyle Fletcher's closer to cruiserweight flippy-doobie guy size than he is as a heavyweight, and Brodus King is a much larger, beefier dude of doom. And yet, these two are wrestling in a way as if that wasn't a factor. You've got Kyle Fletcher doing super heavyweight style moves and it being effective on Brody King. And you got Brody King flying over the top rope outside through the ropes doing suicide dives, which is cool. But there needs to be that subconscious sense to these fucking matches. And this kind of craps on the face of that. Okay. Just like how there's a Don Callis cosplayer sitting behind banking and gookie facing behind Excalibur. I'm sorry, Juan. I actually like that. I thought that was silly. So did I, because fuck Excalibur. That's not what's important, though. Now, Christensen was good in ROH pre-Tony Khan buying. He also works GCW, says Vicente. Now that being said, in the final moments of the match, Brody King and Kyle Fletcher are both fighting on the top turnbuckle. Brody King looks like he was about to pull off a move, but then he was distracted by Mark Davis at ringside, another member of the Don Callis family, and this distraction provided Kyle Fletcher long enough to hoist Brody King up and hit him with the top rope brainbuster, dropping Brody King headfirst onto the top turnbuckle to pin and win. Your winner, the Protostar,
Kyle Fletcher. And then after the match, both Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher try to lay in a 2-on-1 assault against Brody King until out comes Powerhouse Hobbs to even the odds, send Kyle Fletcher running, and help out Brody King, which then led to his match against Mark Davis, which before that match happened, there were security guards that were trying to split up Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis, and we got a special cameo from former NXT wrestler Von Wagner.
Oh my God, no. Vaughn, why? No, Vaughn, why? God damn it.
The last time I talked about Von Wagner, unfortunately, was around 2023 on NXT. His last matches were, but I forgot who it was, but they were playing off the angle where Von Wagner was managed by Robert Stone, and Von Wagner was diagnosed with some sort of like head trauma that he tried to work through, and he was getting a babyface push, but that unfortunately went nowhere, and WWE had to release him.
God fucking hell. Come on! This is fucking painful.
Hang on a minute. They're in St. Paul.
Not Von Wagner.
Oh, he was in town because he's from Osseo, Minnesota. So he took a job as a security guard. Don't worry, Juan. It's just a cameo. It's just a hometown cameo.
Oh,
Oh God.
No, you know what? No. Will Hobbs' face is mine right now. Bruh.
Bruh.
That is a fucking bruh face right there.
That is a fucking bruh. Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler. Well, actually, no. I'll get into that in just a little bit later. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Tell you what, Juan. Let's move on to an exciting segment. We like Swerve, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell's yeah. Whose house? Swerve's house. That's right, because we get an in-promo segment featuring the former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland, who calls out Jon Moxley.
Hey, all right. So we got Swerve running all over the joint.
That's right.
He is accompanied by his man, a jerk. His dancing fool.
Man, Udger. The way you pronounced it.
Prince
Nana! Yeah!
Get your Bible spoke when I try big pressure. I'm blind, beating, that's world when I try.
Hey! And the fans of St. Paul, Minnesota came alive for Swerve Strickland.
And Prince Nana.
And Swerve immediately got on the mic and he calls out Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley wastes no time entering from outside of the building as he always does, because it makes him cool, I guess. So Jon Moxley enters the ring, and these two have a face-off. And Juan and I saw this promo segment back and forth. So in Swerve's side, Swerve calls out Moxley, calling him out for not being the champion that he thinks he is or that he should be. Because
and he even was trying to play this one line off on Moxley. Is like, oh, that's the reason why you keep the AEW championship locked away in that little briefcase, because you can't see yourself as the champion.
Yeah.
You've got the title.
Which, wow, that is actually a deep cut.
Like, oh, it's one of those. It's like, oh.
That's
interesting.
That's real.
Maybe that's something that the fucking people can play off of later. I hope they do that, because for fuck's sake.
We need something of substance.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Jon Moxley then fired... Yeah, not to be outdone, Jon Moxley got on the mic, and I did mention that he's one of the best. He also cuts really good promos himself.
When he actually puts effort in.
Yeah, Jon Moxley gets on the mic, and he actually admits that he is tired of all the Hollywood involvement, of all these egos, and all these people taking it easy, and the pageantry, and people going on social media and on Instagram, posting their stories about the wrestling. And Jon Moxley says that people like Swerve Strickland gives him hope for pro wrestling, because Swerve Strickland is against all of that. And he's
Is he, though?
And John Moxley then asks, John Moxley challenges Swerve Strickland and see if Swerve Strickland has what it takes to go the distance, if he's willing to do whatever it takes to become the AEW World Champion.
But here's the thing. Swerve has been champion. Swerve has been the AEW World Champion before. He knows the stuff about being champion. Half of the garbage that Moxley was trying to say about him, he already knows it. Because he already lived it as champion. He was trying to be like, oh, you don't know the pressure of it, like, he was trying to say that kind of nonsense too, wasn't he?
He was. And at least we finally get some motivation behind what the fucking what the Death Riders are the point of the Death Riders. They're trying to destroy the pageantry. They're trying to destroy people being complacent. They're trying to destroy the egos, the social media and Instagram filtered life of pro wrestling.
So remind me, did the Death Riders go after the Acclaimed?
Close. They went after Private Party.
No. I mean the Acclaimed. Before they broke up, that means. Because, if I'm not mistaken, up until the point they broke up, the Acclaimed were one of the hottest merch movers and one of the most popular acts in AEW. So that gets a lot of social media attention. That gets a lot of fucking egos inflating. That gives a lot of pageantry. And you have corporate involvement in there because these guys make merch money. You'd think that the Acclaimed would have been prime targets for the Death Riders to try and take down.
No, because if you remember, their first prime target was AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson.
And then they retired him. You'd think they would also go on taking out the Acclaimed.
No, then they went after Orange Cassidy, and they went after Jay White, and they went after Hangman Adam Page, and then they went after Adam Copeland and Powerhouse Hobbs. And now we fast forward to Swerve. And speaking of Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli was standing right behind Prince Nana. Marina Shafir was about to enter the ring, but then Willow Nightingale stopped her in her tracks. So Swerve was ready for him. Swerve was ready for another Death Riders jump in. And he got a mic, and then he got back on the mic, and he cut a promo right back at Moxley saying that at a Dynasty, he's going to become the AEW World Champion again. And that this guy could go back to playing John Moxley, which is apparently a callback to the promo segment between Dean Ambrose and John Cena back in 2016, where Dean Ambrose says made the same line saying, "Oh, you could go back and play John Cena."
Is this guy for real though? So they're ripping off each other's things over here now.
Except Swerve made it cooler.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts of this segment?
Okay, it showed Swerve Strickland isn't stupid. He got himself prepared, and he knows he has people that he can ally with, like Willow Nightingale, because Willow's got beef with the Death Riders as well. So, now that Swerve is in the crosshairs, he's keeping his back protected over here, not just with Prince Nana, but with anyone else who might be aligned against the Death Riders that he could persuade. So that shows intelligence. And the fact that Swerve also brought up the lines of, you can't really see yourself as a champion, and you could I'll be champion. You could go back to playing John Moxley or whatever the fuck. You can play with those lines. You have just got set up with seeds of how to break up the Death Riders and how you can show further actual progression and character development for Moxley. That would be cool. You know what that reminds you of? For Paranoid Stone Cold, right?
Yes.
Doesn't he think he's Stone Cold? What with the baldness and the beard? Doesn't he think that?
Yeah.
Doesn't he think he's badass and Stone Cold? How about he does that? The evil, paranoid Stone Cold who breaks apart from within.
Well, no, that's what Moxley was showing up to his match at Revolution, and I don't know if you want to call that a good thing, because paranoid Stone Cold was not a good thing to see during 2001.
Everything's in context. There's different context here for paranoid John Moxley, but I'm saying that going paranoid heel guy, leader of a faction, is the way to go for him. Swerve Strickland just helped set him up for that. It's a layup. It's a toss-up. It's a freaking like easy fucking touchdown right at the last yard line. It's fucking playing it's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh with with all 5 pieces of Exodia in your opening hand.
No, you're right.
Now watch Jon Moxley fuck it up somehow.
Oh God, they better not. They better make something something substantial with Swerve, man, because Swerve deserves this. I wasn't really excited for Adam Copeland because I feel like Adam Copeland is already past his prime, and nobody wants to see a 50-year-old compete for the AEW World Title. No disrespect.
Speak for yourself, Jose. They've got. We were literally talking to Wrestle Lulz over here, mentioning how Ricky Morton was wrestling for the Juggalos, and he's 68.
Fair enough, but Swerve Strickland is still in his prime. He's still in his popularity, and AEW need to capitalize on this shit and not let it go to the wayside in favor of Jon Moxley and his ilk.
Like I said, just watch these guys fuck it up somehow.
They better not, I swear. All right, let's get over to the match of the night. And this one is another one-on-one match featuring the Don Callis family. Again.
These fucking guys get around.
Yes, they do. Jesus, they're all over the place, just like the Death Riders. All right, so, and this is a one-on-one match featuring the former AEW International Champion, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, taking on the former Ring of Honor World Champion, Mark Briscoe.
All right, so Takeshita and Briscoe, again with Don Callis at ringside. Because
you can't get enough of Don!
Cut it out.
Okay. All right, so there's really not much for me to say. Mark Briscoe, of course, tries to match move for move with Konosuke Takeshita. These two guys are incredible strikers in their own right. Mark Briscoe was able to keep his head in the game, lays in these crazy kung fu strikes against Takeshita, and Takeshita was able to, of course, fire back with his own flurry of offense. Surprisingly, Don Callis.
What was the kung fu gimmick thing that Mark Briscoe was calling? What is it that they called it again?
I think they call it not kung fu. They call it something redneck fu or some shit. I don't know.
I'll find out.
You go and find out.
The transcript review for Dynamite.
You go right ahead. But honestly, this match was just didn't really do it for me because I was getting burned out by the Don Callis family. So I'll get straight over to the finish here. Konosuke Takeshita, Konosuke Takeshita kept the pressure on Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe did go for a fiery comeback, but Takeshita was able to stop him with a right elbow to the face, and then he hits the Raging Fire in the middle of the ring to pin and win. Your winner, Konosuke Takeshita.
God dang it!
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There we go. Takeshita escaped with a cutthroat driver and then hits the Raging Fire to win the match. So whatever.
Yeah, that was going on over here. No, I'm trying to find the fucking what was it, Hillbilly Fu or something? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know. Redneck Kung Fu.
Redneck Kung Fu. Okay.
That's all. That's what they call it. Redneck Kung Fu.
All right. Well,
and this, like I said, this match really didn't do it for me because at this point I just got burned out with the Don Callis family and how much it's taking up the TV time.
That's true.
Ugh. And speaking of TV time, we haven't talked about him in a good New York minute.
I hate you.
And it's a backstage segment featuring the Ring of Honor World Champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, with Brian Keith and Big Bill. So, at the 0 hour of AEW Revolution, there was supposed to be a title match between Chris Jericho defending the title against luchador named Gravity, who is apparently the real-life brother of Bandito. That match never happened. The Learning Tree laid a 3-on-1 assault on Gravity, and Chris Jericho embarrassed Gravity by pulling out his lucha mask.
Right, actually unmasking him and besmirching the name of Lucha Libre.
Exactly.
God damn it, that's heel-ass shit, man.
It is heel-ass shit. And then last Saturday on Collision, Chris Jericho faced off, Chris Jericho faced off against Bandito or whatever the fuck happened. But Bandito and Gravity were able to fight back against the Learning Tree. Gravity got his mask back from, Bandito got the mask back from Jericho. And then this led us to a really a cool moment where Jericho argued with a kid at ringside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! There was seriously a little toddler. There was seriously a little.
She's not a little toddler. She's like 7 years old. This little girl with a beanie on. She was flipping off Chris Jericho. It's like, hey, do you know what that means? Yeah, how dare you? You're horrible. And she actually chews him out right back. It's like, you want to try and mess with me, little girlie? Look at this. Tapping his gallon, his 6-gallon fucking.
And this little girl shows off her abs.
Yeah, no, and this little girl, she lifts her shirt halfway up, and she's rocking an actual 6-pack. And it left everybody fucking floored. It left everybody speechless with how jacked this little freaking grade school kid is. And Jericho's like, how did you do that? Where did you do that? How did you get that? Explain yourself. And her response was priceless. I work out and not like you.
And that completely caused Brian Keith and Brick Bill to break character during that whole thing.
Why wasn't it televised? That would have been good televised!
They showed it, they showed it. Well, they showed a little clip of it on Dynamite.
Showed a clip of it on Dynamite? Yeah, after it was aired on the internet instead! You put that shit up and actually hey, during commercial break on Collision, they air that shit when it happened. And actually, take the time to bleep the little girl out, and because she does say it means fuck you. And what do you call it? You can bleep her out and still push all that and just do a flash cut of the awkward space in the middle where you've got Chris Jericho completely lost for fucking words. And how this tiny little child who's shredded.
I know.
Dear Jesus.
And speaking of words, Jericho had a few choice words. He was disappointed that he lost the Lucha Mask back to Gravity and Bandito, and he vows to get revenge. But he's more disappointed at Big Bill and at Brian Keith because these guys have been losing a lot of matches, and that he challenges them to either start winning matches or Chris Jericho is going to leave the both of them.
Okay. Ouch. We don't care about you, though, Jericho.
No, we don't, because nobody likes to... Oh, God. Chris Jericho being in the mid-card only benefits him and him alone. Nobody is getting over with Chris Jericho just being slotted in the middle of the card.
I want to take a look at the chat before we continue here, Jose. Let's see. Vicente, Mox and Swerve stare-down's interesting. Battle of two guys totally into bleeding during matches. Swerve is like the horror king. Yes, that was a Swerve and Vince comparison. He was a horror. V was horror king first. Let me see here. Moxley's delusional and Punk. Maybe more so. Yes. Let's see. Nana plays a lovable goofball like Kofi. Swerve is playing chess while, and I would say Moxley's playing checkers. I see. So Cold was crazy. RKO did the paranoid heel better. Yeah, he did. So if Moxley can match that energy, I'd be happy.
Right.
Swerve and Hurt Syndicate saving AEW. Yep. Let's see here. You mean Cope? Oh yeah, Jose. You kept calling him Adam Copeland. It's just Cope.
Shut up, Quake!
No. You fucker. Let's see. Briscoe is the GOAT. Swerve looks big. Yeah, Swerve does look more jacked than Moxley. What? Okay. Real quick, I'm just gonna remove this one line because, sorry, we're not down for that kind of shit.
Please don't say that. This is your one warning here on this chat.
It's just a thing there, Jose.
Yeah.
Right. The kid at ringside was badass. Incredible abs for such a young 7 or 8 year old. She out-promoted Chris. I can imagine her in XPW 15 years from now.
Oh my God!
Please don't put her in XPW 15 years from now. I'm begging you. Let her work somewhere else. Let her do freaking AAA or something, man. I won't shut up. Point LOL.
No, I'm Jose. I'm the one that says shut up.
Yeah, no. Blonde hair, Jose, no hair. Easy. Okay?
That being said, I really don't like this segment. I just want Jericho to just take some time off, dude. Like, he keeps showing up week after week, and even if he's not part of the main event picture, he's still taking up time. He's still sucking the life out of AEW and the people that he works with. I'm just done with him. I'm done with Jericho. I'm done with the learning tree.
We've been done with Jericho over here. With that, Mr. Quake, it's because that statement has never been actually proven true in any way. We're not going to repeat the statement on air, but that's not an actual thing. I don't know why anyone would say that or thinks that about that stuff.
Yeah,
that's a discussion that can be had at another time. But that's not really true at all.
All right.
Okay, yeah, no, Jericho, fucking why? Get away from us.
Fuck him. All right, now before we get to the main event, we do have an honorable mention, and this one is a sit-down interview moderated by Tony Schiavone featuring the Rated R superstar, Cope. And FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. So, last week on Dynamite, after Cope failed to capture the AEW World Title against Jon Moxley, Dax Harwood was showing a bit of resentment in Cope and Cash, and he walked away from them. And then in the sit-down interview, Dax got to explain what happened. He apologized for how he felt. He felt like them helping out Adam Copeland try to capture the AEW World Title took their eyes off their goal in capturing the AEW World Tag Titles.
Okay.
And then
so?
And then there was a back.
That's your own fucking thing. You got it's not as if just trying to protect Cope doesn't mean you're not going to get your chance to go back and reclaim the tag titles from the Hurt Syndicate. And
that's exactly what Adam said. Like, Adam kind of felt like Dax was putting him on the spot and make it sound like it's his fault. These two got back. It went to a back and forth disagreement, and then Cash was playing peacemaker, and he convinced to both sides that, hey, you know what? We could go after those titles another time. We could still capture the AEW World Trios titles. So they challenged the Death Riders for the AEW World Trios Championship in the future. So that's another direction they go with. Adam and Dax are amicable to it, and the interview segment actually ends on a good note instead of a married couple fighting each other.
Okay, cool. Still, I can imagine Tony Schiavone wasn't really doing too much to moderate with these guys, or really doing too much to try to get them to probe deeper into it. They were talking amongst themselves, and Tony was just sitting there.
He was just sitting there. Yeah, you might as well put a cardboard cutout of Tony sitting on the chair instead of actually bringing him there. But the point is, now Rated FTR, they have a direction yet again. And it's a unified direction, and they're still going after the Death Riders, but they're going to take the Trios titles away from them.
All right, cool.
All right, now let's get... I know. Now let's get to the main event. And this is a tag match, playa.
Holla, holla.
Man, it's been a good while since we talked about the women in AEW, right?
Right.
Yep, and in this main event, it is a tag match as the AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm reunites with her former tag partner Thunder Rosa to take on the team of the Megasis, Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford. What the fuck is Megasis, Juan?
Isn't that what you play Sonic the Hedgehog on?
No, that's the Sega Genesis.
Oh, then I got no idea.
What the fuck, Megan Bayne? Make it make sense.
No, also, of course, we had the little thing of a little backstage promo with Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa actually came off fucking excited to be teaming up with Toni Storm again. It was like the reunion of Team Thunderstorm. And
then Toni Storm interrupted and says,
no, it's not Thunderstorm. That's in the past. We are the Thunder Tits.
Thunder Tits.
Toni Storm is working overtime, cramming as many sexual innuendos in her promos as possible.
Dude, it's like rapid fire.
And I am here for it. Legitimately here for it. God almighty.
Now, regardless of this fun reunion of Thunder Tits, the real main story, of course...
Thunderstorm!
The real main story is, of course, Toni Storm and Megan Bayne, and these two will be clashing for the AEW Women's World Title at Dynasty on April 6th. So, during this tag match, Thunder Rosa and Timeless Toni Storm were able to get some tag team action in, laying down the hurt on Penelope Ford. And then, during the middle of the match, and then coming back from commercial break, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford were working over over Thunder Rosa, keeping her away from the women's world champion. Toni Storm was able to get a little bit of a breather after Penelope Ford was tagged in. She punishes Thunder Rosa over in the corner, gets in a weird, sick lick on her face. Like, what the fuck? That's creepy. And then Toni Storm was able to fight off against Penelope Ford. She gets a hot tag on Toni Storm. Toni Storm gets into the ring. She starts laying out Penelope Ford. And then Megan Bayne is tagged in, and both Megan Bayne and Toni Storm finally clash in the ring. Toni Storm sets Megan Bayne seated into the corner. She tries to go for her running hip attack, but Megan Bayne no-sells it and powers back up. And timeless Toni Storm tries to fight back desperately. She tries to go for the Storm Zero. Megan Bayne was able to counter it. And then, in the final seconds of the match, Megan Bayne hits the F5 and pins the AEW Women's World Champion. Your winners, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford.
Fuck.
Oh!
God almighty. Like, I'm worried, dude. I'm worried for her. I'm worried for a champion. I'm worried for the Super Thunder Tits woman.
Yes!
I'm worried for her safety.
This was a great main event, and this is a great way to put over the challenger of the AEW Women's World title. Yeah, have her pinned in a tag match to help build momentum.
And establish her as a legitimate threat.
Exactly!
In the chat, let me see here. Sorry, guys, just curious. All right, that's okay.
You're fine, man. Don't worry about it.
Let's see. Glow Revolve. Saying Thunder Tits. Oh! Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
Jim 2x4 Duggan. Jim Duggan. It's not Duggar, it's Duggan.
Yeah.
With an A-N, not A-R. Let's see. Tony Schiavone gets shit on lots of interviews. On Lost for interviews, everyone not named CM Punk always has to Tony stand in the corner while that interview subject grabs a mic and goes off. Yeah, that's literally like
every wrestler in AEW are so eager to just grab a mic and cut their own promo like they know what they're doing.
And usually the interviewer is supposed to be someone to play off on that stuff to make it sound like playing up on behalf of the audience while this heel is saying such heelish things or talking to the babyface and wanting to see if there's any concerns or doubts from the babyface in order to humanize or whatever, and for the babyface to get over. Like, fucking, I know not everybody can be Mean Gene Okerlund, but Tony can fucking try!
Precisely. All right.
Other than that, the match, everything is great.
The match was awesome. I loved it.
Fine. I don't have an issue with it.
Also, I'm happy to see Thunderstorm back on TV. I follow her on Twitter, so I'm happy to see her wrestle.
Let's see here. During Penelope
and she follows me on Twitter. But continue.
Vincente, during Penelope Ford licking Thunder Rosa, it looked like Rosa was smiling. I'd smile too if Penelope Ford tucked me down.
So would now be an awkward time that 3 out of 4 of these women have an OnlyFans page?
No, it's not awkward at all.
Okay, all right. Now let's go into this week's edition of TNA Impact as they continue their tapings over in El Paso, Texas.
Yeehaw.
But first, Candy Break. Juan, keep up talking.
You're the one who's talking. I don't even know what you're trying to get me to talk about. Other than try not to sneeze. I'm actually surprised you didn't bring up the Hurt Syndicate and FTO and MJF segment on there, but I guess we can cap on that when we wrap on the show, right? All right. So I guess we start off with the first match here.
Excuse me, Candy. Yes, let's start off with the opening match of TNA Impact, and it's a tag match, player.
Holla, holla.
That's right. As we mentioned earlier. Well, actually, yeah. Well, let's talk about this. It's a non-title Knockouts tag team match as the TNA Knockouts tag team champions Ash and Heather by Elegance go up against Chemical X, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley of NXT.
All right, tell us about this match, Jose.
So as I mentioned earlier,
our favorite little gals taking on the silly, overblown divaness of the Elegance ladies.
Ah, yes. Nothing says overblown divaness, but the former 24/7 champion of Dana Brooke. Anyways, so as I mentioned earlier, I know, right? So as I mentioned earlier on this program,
that was bad.
As I mentioned earlier on Wrestle Rewind while reviewing NXT, Tatum, Chemical X, and the Meta Girls are both trying to vie for the TNA Knockouts tag team titles, and they made their presence known last week on TNA Impact, crashing Ash and Heather by Elegance's championship celebration. So, In this tag match, this was a pretty fun tag match. Of course, Ash and Heather by Elegance are doing their own, using their own underhanded tactics with help from the personal concierge.
God dang it.
Yep. But Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley were not going to have any of this shit. They continued their offense against the champions. Tatum Paxley, of course, showing that she's improved in the ring. She hits an incredible flurry of offenses, including an incredible frog splash elbow drop in the middle of the ring. Of course, Ash was able to kick out after 2, and then we get some more ringside interference. Tatum Paxley was with the referee distracted. Heather was brawling with Gigi at ringside. The personal concierge did some ringside chicanery against Tatum Paxley. This allowed Ash by Elegance to climb to the top rope and hit the rarefied air to pin and win. Your winners, Ash and Heather by Elegance.
God dang it!
Ah!
Silly frou-frou man! How dare he!
However,
he's attacking our Manic Pixie Dream Girls.
However, Chemical X would be the one to get the last laugh, because after the match, the personal concierge brings forth a birthday cake, and I think it was Ash's birthday, and they wanted Ash to blow the candles to make a wish, and then Chemical X showed up on opposite sides, and they slammed Ash's face into the cake, so she got caked, and they embarrassed her on TNA.
Oh man, I wish you could have been able to find a fucking screenshot of that. Holy shit!
I know. But hey, it was still fun.
Dang it! Look, first off, I am not a fan of our Manic Pixie Dream Girls of Chemical X not getting a win over these two silly frou-frou girls and their silly frou-frou man. How dare they? But yeah, making up for it with the cake spot. That's I got no issue with that.
Also,
silly, but I got no issue with it.
Also, the fans were 100% behind Tatum Paxley since this is her home state. She was originally born and she's from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Alright, so next segment, next match.
Next match, as we continue the action with the Knockouts division.
Yay!
We got another one-on-one interpromotional match with another NXT wrestler who has crossed the line.
Okay. You're actually really saying it?
Yes. I've been saying it for weeks! Where are you now? Jeez, Juan, it's like you have selective memory.
No, I just have selective preference in my opinions.
Alright, and this one
just to piss you off.
And this is a non-title match as the TNA Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich goes one-on-one against NXT's JC Jane.
From the Fatal Influence over here. I'm sorry,
and in this match, Tessa Blanchard is...
I'm sorry, is that the same headshot JC Jane always had? Does she have that right now with over at NXT?
No. Different headshot.
I'm sorry, this one doesn't look right on her. I don't know why.
Is it the pigtails?
Maybe, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm being selective again.
You're being ridiculous.
Toxic Attraction versus the Beautiful People.
And by order of Santino Marella, Tessa Blanchard is barred from ringside during this one-on-one match.
Remember that, kids. It is important.
Now, JC Jane showed up and she put on an incredible performance against the champion. She put Masha Slamovich through the ringer, hitting a series of strikes and attacking her from ringside. She gets a penalty kick on Masha Slamovich from ringside, and she continues the assault before bringing her back into the ring. Masha Slamovich, of course, was trying to hit a comeback against JC Jane, but JC Jane was able to counter it. And then JC Jane tries to go for a finishing spinning forearm, which she's been using lately. Masha Slamovich was able to counter it, and JC Jane was still able to knock her down and tried to go for the running senton, but Masha Slamovich was able to get out of the way. Then JC Jane hits back first into the ring canvas. Then Masha Slamovich hits a couple of striking blows before putting her down with the snowplow to pin and win. Your winner, Masha Slamovich. And then after the match, immediately Tessa Blanchard goes down to the ring and lays an assault on Masha Slamovich.
Because she's racist against Russians.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, I'm gonna milk her being a fucking racist forever.
And then out comes Zaya Brookside and Lei Ying Lee, former Zaya Lee from WWE. They both run down to the ring to save Masha Slamovich from the 2-on-1 assault.
God dang, this is too crazy. Like, okay, so we've got JC Jane up in this shit, we've got the racist Tessa Blanchard, and we've got these other ladies over here. All of them are literally just there for their own self-interest, namely the self-interest of becoming the TNA Knockouts World Champion. But they're all still fucking around with each other so hard that they're not focusing themselves too much on the champion herself, which is why she's managing to win these matches.
That is right. Now, that being said, we do have an exciting segment of the night, and this one will take us into the realm of musical harmony, as we are treated by the presence of the TNA World Champion, the prestigious one.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's right. In this promo segment, Joe Hendry, the TNA World Champion, speaks in front of the El Paso crowd, and he talks about his future. What's next for the prestigious one? What's next for the TNA World Champion? And just as he's about to get into a discussion, he was interrupted by his de facto friend, fellow musician, Elijah.
We knew that this is where it was going, guys. Elijah, being the singing, the wanderer himself, he wouldn't be aligning himself with Joe Hendry unless there was something in it for him too.
But he did make it clear in the promo segment that he was not coming after Joe Hendry for the title, but instead he wants to earn Joe Hendry's trust. He wants to be Joe Hendry's back and friend and watch his back. And he even had a special song prepared for Joe Hendry. I can't remember what the song was. Oh yeah, it's from the Toy Story movies. You got a friend in me.
Oh my god! Really?
Yes.
You sang that?
Yes.
You've got a friend in me.
He sang that
You've
song.
Got a friend. Oh my. That's kind of cringy, but I know that Elijah's smooth, so he can sing that without it coming off cringy. But still, like, okay.
And then out comes Frankie Kazarian, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, and he brings in his bass guitar in the middle of the ring, and he's bragging and boasting how these two guys don't know how to put on a performance, and since he's a rock star, he knows how to play better music, so he tries to play his bass, and he tries to play his tunes. The fans of El Paso were not liking it, and they were making their opinions known. So Joe Hendry and Elijah were pretty much telling Frankie to GTFO, and so Joe Hendry and Elijah knock out what's his face, Frankie Kazarian, and there was a moment where Elijah nearly hit Joe Hendry with the guitar, like careful,
He's trying to have a friend in him. He's trying to have me a friend. He can't do that if he smacks him and hits him with an El Capong.
Oh my god.
No. There's nothing suspicious about that.
No, there's nothing. And this sets up Joe Hendry with two upcoming challengers. The threat of Frankie Kazarian cashing in his Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and Joe
shot a contract.
Yep, and Joe Hendry versus Elijah. Hey up, Steph the Alter Nerd. Welcome to Wrestle Rewind. How you doing? Listen, Steph the Alter Nerd, we were talking about so many things happening in WWE and AEW. We're on the road to WrestleMania.
Weeks remaining, Jose?
Let's see. We're less than a month away.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. WrestleMania is happening on the weekend of 4/19 and 4/20 in Las Vegas, Nevada, which I know you know all about.
Yep. We were discussing NXT earlier tonight. We also reviewed AEW Dynamite. So now we're on our third segment for the night, which is for tonight's edition of TNA Impact.
Yeah,
right, so
we're so happy. Thank you for popping in and saying hi, Steph. You are awesome. We miss you so much here on this channel, and we hope that you're doing well.
Ready to get your mood killed again, Jose?
Oh fuck! All right, yeah, okay.
Okay, you're gonna need to explain this to me for two reasons. One, why on earth do we have Casey Jones cosplayers up in this shit?
Oh my god, those masks!
These stupid hockey masks, these stupid
oh my god
hockey masks from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Seriously,
what the fuck?
Fucking masks. Anyways,
does it have to be these kind of masks? Come on.
I don't know, man. It's an aesthetic choice, not exactly a smart choice, but that's what they're going with for the Northern Armory. So
and that brings me to my second point here, in terms of it being a smart choice. a match between inevitable Ace Austin, a card-carrying member of Bullet Club, against Eric Young, a veteran of the game who, I make the joke of why are we pushing Eric Young, because that was a funny Jim Cornette line, but he earns it anytime he's in the ring. You're going to need to explain to me how this match landed in your bad match segment of the night.
All right.
Yeah, you're going to need to explain yourself.
Let me explain real quick. I will explain. Don't worry. Give me just a second here.
Sounds like you're stalling.
I'm not stalling. So, to give an explanation. So, Eric Young is now the captain of the Northern Armory. They have expelled Josh Alexander a long time ago. They're leader.
Is this a soccer club?
Leader, dumbass.
You don't call me dumbass. Dumbass is a legitimate question.
No, Eric Young is the leader of the Northern Armory. He is trying to get Steve Maclin to join his group, for Steve Maclin to trust Eric Young again. And in this match, there was way too much interference with the Northern Armory at ringside. Like, way too much interference going on with Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams. Like, just getting involved with the referee's back turn every chance they get. And I don't know, it's just getting annoying to me. Like, I like interferences, but like, they're doing it too fucking much.
Okay, that makes sense. These guys were distracting from the actual match. How was Ace Austin holding himself in the ring?
Ace Austin was doing great. Despite the odds stacked against him, Ace Austin was able to fight back against Eric Young, able to hit his own flurry of high-flying offense against him. But Eric Young, of course, took advantage. He slammed Ace Austin shoulder first into the ring post before hitting him with a spike pile driver to pin and win. Your winner, the world-class maniac, Eric Young.
Okay, Eric Young, the last time we saw him and Cody Deaner were in a jail cell where Cody Deaner apparently murdered him in the jail cell and left him for dead. And now freaking Eric Young came back, not dead. Cody Deaner has changed, and now Eric Young's taken over Josh Alexander's faction because Josh Alexander left TNA Wrestling. This shit makes no sense to me. What the fuck? Why the hell is he like... And truthfully, if his beef is with Steve Maclin, why is he dealing with Ace Austin in the first place?
Well, first of all, thank you for the $1.99 super sticker from Jeannie Rick with Behind the Scenes. I appreciate that.
Wrestle Rewind. Thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate it a lot.
Hey! All right.
Yeah,
now repeat your question. Repeat your question, dude.
If Eric Young's beef is with Steve Maclin, what's he doing pummeling on Ace Austin?
He's trying to set an example. He's trying to use Ace Austin as an example that their group is superior and that Steve Maclin should join them.
And that they're not to be fucked with.
Yeah. He's trying to set an example at the expense of Ace Austin. There is no actual beef with him.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ace Austin was just a casualty.
All right, so the match itself wasn't horrible. It was just too much interference from these guys.
Yeah.
And it was too distracting.
Distracting. Understood. All right, now let's get to this segment. Like, this stupid rivalry, I want it to end already. And this is a backstage segment featuring Mance Warner and the TNA Digital Media Champion, Steph DeLander, and the Death Machine, Sami Callihan. These two guys have been brawling for weeks. And weeks and weeks and weeks. And now both these guys are handcuffed with security standing over Santino Marella, who's trying to mediate between these guys.
Wait, they're actually handcuffed?
Yes, they're handcuffed.
So they're sitting across from each other on the long side of a table. They're about to freaking have some sort of confrontation. Santino Marella is moderating so that these guys can settle this shit without having to worry about dealing with more chaos than he wants. Okay.
Pretty much. These two guys can't wait to kill each other. And not literally.
In the ring.
And Santino Marella called for this meeting to settle this beef once and for all before it gets out of hand. Sami Callihan, of course, got fired up and he told Santino Marella, either you fire him or you fire me, which really doesn't work in a real workplace that's outside of wrestling.
You dumbass. You don't want to fucking go in there. It's like, no, we don't want to fire you, you idiot.
No, because if we
fired, sure, you go ahead and not make money anymore. See what I care. That is the dumbest thing to say to any employer unless you're looking to get yourself fired.
And Steph DeLander has her thermos filled with hot coffee. She then looks over to Sami Callihan and is like, "Oh, Sammy, it looks like you're crashing out here. You look like you could use a little bit of coffee." Splashes the hot coffee in Sami Callihan's face, and Sammy's just on the floor writhing in agony.
Hey, no, I've been scalded before. You remember, Jose?
Yeah.
When I was a kid? Pour, like, hot water from the coffee?
Yeah, it left a mark on you.
Yeah, because that's what actually happens in a burn. Yeah, I've been there, so don't play around. Coffee is lethal.
Coffee is...
that's why you drink it. That's why you don't put it on your body. You put it in your body.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like that one dude. Actually, no, that's from The Watchmen. No, otherwise you're gonna end up like that one dude that scolded himself in Jessica Jones.
Why would you remind me of that part? Fuck, man.
Because the pain, Juan.
No.
Now, before we get to the main event, we do have an honorable mention, and it is a 6-man tag team match with a returning wrestling legend, and it is First Class and Frankie Kazarian taking on the teams of the Aztec Warriors, Laredo Kid and Octagon Jr., and former WWE Tag Team Champion Chavo Guerrero Jr.
All right, so Chavito over here, he had some cross words with First Class last week, and so they challenged him to a tag match. Didn't realize it was.
He also made some off-color comments at Dominic Mysterio's mom.
Yeah, which again,
maybe he was just cutting a promo.
I don't know.
In character.
I don't fucking know.
But the point is,
the point of it is pretty straightforward. I didn't realize that this tag match was going to be a 6-man tag. I just thought it was that Chavo needed to find a partner.
Oh no, it was a 6-man. It was a 6-man.
How did Frankie get mixed in? He didn't go to Hollywood.
He interrupted the First Class segment.
Gotcha.
And he also beefed with Chavo. So, nevertheless, great 6-man tag team action. Chavo Guerrero showed no sign of ring rust. Like, for a guy in his mid-50s, he moves pretty fucking well, and he's still as agile as he was in the WWE.
God damn, that is not bad. All right, well, that just goes to show you, the Guerreros are built different.
Hells yeah. Viva la raza, bitches. Chavo Guerrero won this match by hitting the frog splash for his team to pin and win. Here are winners, the Aztec Warriors and Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Órale, vato.
Yes, indeed.
Así es como lo hace, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, this sounds like it was cool.
Yeah, of course. And now let's get to the main event. And Juan and I both sat down and watched this, and this is a one-on-one match featuring the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth, versus Leon Slater.
All right, so in case you've forgotten, kids, Nick Nemeth's a bad guy now. He's all weird and shit, and he's all pissed off at everybody. And for some reason, Ryan Nemeth is still here.
Yes, he is.
He's gotten annoying.
Also blaming on the Hardy Boys for trying to ride their coattails of success in TNA.
What?
I told you last week.
No, I know, the Hardys don't need to ride on anybody's fucking coattails. They're the Hardys, for fuck's sake.
And Leon Slater challenged Nick Nemeth to this match to defend the honor of the Hardy Boys, the same Hardy Boys that trained him.
Oh, you sweet summer child, you.
Oh, yes. The former Dolph Ziggler worked over Leon Slater and actually cut the legs right under him. Anytime Leon Slater tries to get any amount of offense, including high-flying offense, Nick Nemeth was able to cut him down in the ring and keep the pressure on him during the match.
You can also tell that Nemeth is definitely going heel on this stuff because there was a spot where, there was a spot where Nick Nemeth normally would do like a leaping elbow, but first he would gyrate for the fans. He would gyrate
and twist twist his pelvis. Oh God, that was bad timing, Steph. You didn't see me twist. You didn't see me twist my pelvis.
Yes, she did.
Shut up.
She saw everything. Enjoy the rest of the stream, you guys. See you later. Much love, Steph. Check you later.
Check you later, Steph. All right, but yes, Nick Nemeth twists his pelvis, but then he, instead of doing an elbow drop, he just kicks Leon in the face.
So he gave a dirty look to the fans, and no, he twisted his foot on on Leon Slater's face.
Ah, what a bastard!
That's a heel move right there, pal. No, he's not going to. He's not going to give you what you want. He's going to do a dirty heel move like that.
Leon Slater, of course, was able to hit an incredible comeback against Nick Nemeth, and even going as far as hitting his own variation of the Twist of Fate, which he calls the Twist of Slate.
Yep, where instead of going forward, rather turning it into a cutter. What does Leon Slater do? He fucking does it into like a faceplant move, right?
Yes, he does.
Cool. Okay.
Which is awesome.
And then
Leon Slater then goes to the top rope and he tries to hit the 450 Swanton Bomb, but Nick Nemeth was able to put the knees up and counter that move, allowing Leon and tries to go for the roll up, but Leon Slater was able to kick out after 2. And in the final moments of the match, Nick Nemeth, he tries to go for the sweet chin music. Leon Slater kicks back, and then Nick Nemeth was able to capitalize and hits the Danger Zone on Leon Slater to pin and win. Your winner, the wanted man, Nick Nemeth.
God damn it. The dirty, rotten heel. The nerve of him.
And then after the match, Nick and Ryan Nemeth both ganged up on Leon Slater in a 2-on-1 beatdown angle. And then out comes the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the TNA World Tag Team Champions, to save Leon Slater from the 2-on-1 assault. And the show ends with the Hardys and Slater standing in the ring and the Nemeth brothers running for the hills.
Jose, did you mention the challenge?
Oh, yeah, the challenge. Next week.
The fucking challenge.
Yeah, that's right. On next week's edition of TNA Impact,
because it was like, hey, you think we were taking your thunder. How about how about this, buddy? We'll be cleared from medical by the next pay-per-view. So how about we have ourselves a proper tag match, brothers against brothers, the Nemeths versus the Hardys, and you will be deleted. Delete!
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that did happen.
How did you forget that?
How about you don't single me out like that?
I always single you out like that!
Anyways, well, 2 months. Well, see, that's why we're a tag team, Juan. Anytime I feel like I'm falling short, you're there to pick me up and support me.
Yeah, exactly. By mocking you relentlessly.
Well, don't do that.
Because I'm a heel commentator.
All right. So what did you think of the match, one-on-one?
Very good showing from Slater. Obviously, no issues with Nick Nemeth. I honestly am surprised that Ryan Nemeth withheld his interference the whole time up through to the end of the match. I honestly would have thought that Ryan Nemeth would have been a little more active and that he would have been more obvious, yeah, I'm the one who's manipulating all this. Maybe that's not what they're going for.
Maybe
it is. I don't know. Point is, have Ryan do more if he's going to be part of this shit.
Precisely. Now, that being said, Juan, ring that bell.
Don't mind if I do.
All right, so final thoughts on TNA Impact. Great opening tag match. Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley got to showcase in front of El Paso, Texas. Even though it was a losing effort, they got the last laugh in the end, and they got plenty of cake as prize for it. Main event match was also pretty good. Nick Nemeth, of course, showing off his heel chops, the heel chops that we remember so well from his years in WWE. And everything else in the middle was also pretty good. I love the music segment between Joe Hendry, Elijah, and Frankie Kazarian. They also had other matches in there. I wasn't too big on the Northern Armory because I don't like their constant interference. But that's just my take on it. And I am just about done with Sami Callihan and Mance Warner constantly ganging up each other. There's gotta be a big blow-off. Please end this rivalry soon.
Honestly, truly. And what is Steph DeLander still doing with the digital media title? If the digital media title is not being defended or used or anything like that, come on, man.
I don't even know if it's even defunct. But that being said, also great match between Masha Slamovich and JC Jane. Awesome. Very awesome. Now, on this week's edition of AEW Dynamite, even though it was just an enhancement match, it was great seeing Kenny Omega in action, and he had a great in-ring moment with Speedball Mike Bailey, which is building up to their triple threat match. And then an incredible, great promo segment with Swerve and Moxley. Swerve, like, actually out-promoing Moxley in this segment, which makes me invested, which makes me interested in their world title match.
What about the segment between MJF and the Hurt Syndicate?
Yeah, that's okay. There was also a segment with that. MJF accepted the offer, but then Bobby Lashley walks down and he tears up the card, and then it just got weird.
It's like, that offer we gave you, it's rescinded. Piss off, boy.
And then MVP had a discussion, like, had to hold back Bobby Lashley, and they got into a little bit of an argument, and I don't know. That's why I didn't put it up there as the exciting segment, because it ended in such an awkward note.
So weird.
It's so weird. Also, get Jericho off my fucking TV screen.
Honestly, come on, man.
All right, now, this week's edition of NXT started off strong, ended strong. The whole theme is, of course, Stephanie Vaquer pulling double duty, defending her titles, and proving that she is La Primera, and she did exactly just that, holding back the challengers of Jada Parker and Fallon Henley, respectively. And everything else on the show was awesome. Javon Evans put up a valiant effort against Lexis King, despite Lexis retaining the Heritage Cup. Great tag team action with Chemical X going up against the Meta Girls. And everything else was just pretty solid. I enjoyed the whole show altogether. I just want to see what Ethan Page, like, what can they do with Ethan Page now at this point, instead of him lingering around and just picking fights with random people on the NXT roster.
Well, he's picking these fights. He's not doing anything about them. But apparently now the whole thing about it is that he wants to, Ricky Sainz wants to team up with Ethan Page?
No, other way around.
Oh yeah, Ethan wants Ricky Sainz to team up with him.
Yeah.
So what's, like, why
he's trying to get Ricky Sainz to join the dark side.
Like, buddy, you're not going to win that fight. Ricky Sainz is absolute here, but pal. Like, I guess he's, like, doing all these matches to further build, like, okay, when are we going to get Saints and Page to lock horns?
I think the real question is, how soon can CW censor out Booker T's
God!
Yeah!
Oh, that was so fun. Booker, you're an excellent wrestler, Booker.
All right, so to close off the show, folks, our main show, The Ravens Flock, will be returning this Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube at Kick, and we will be continuing our Let's Play of A Plague Tale Innocence on Los Amigos Play, which will be earlier Saturday at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, again on YouTube and Kick. Until then, Juan, plug us away.
Don't mind if I do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, thank you very much for watching this week's live stream edition of Wrestle Rewind, hosted by Jose Casabona, as he reviews for you the best and the worst of three of the most exciting professional wrestling programs in North America today: WWE's NXT, AEW Dynamite, and TNA Impact. Step into the ring every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. Hit the subscribe and the follow button, ring the notification bell, stay up to date on all of our content. Become an inner flocker by hitting the join button, and until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Kick.com/TheRavensFlock, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that tiny little notification bell right here on our flagship platform, YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock, humble home of the Black Files, Los Amigos Play, Wrestle Rewind, and The Ravens Flock.
All right, folks, thank you very much for tuning in to another exciting edition of Wrestle Rewind. For Mr. Juan Arouse, I'm Jose Casabona, and this is Wrestling.